As dominant myths and single stories about what it means to be alive and what it means to be in the world, as they crumble and they wither away, as climate change reminds us that we're not lords and masters of the universe, as the growth paradigm reinforces the techno-consumerist empire of multinationals, devastated ecosystems, and dwindling diversities, as education so-called, which my brother speaks so eloquently about, Manish, as education so-called strips from us our sincerest questions and our deepest songs, as nation states and representational politics teach us that we cannot hope in the status quo, and as prosperity and happiness promised by compliance to industrial society hollows out, we are faced, as it were, with questions about what a more beautiful world could actually look like and what we can do to make it real for us and our children. In an effort to make sense of all today's unfolding anomalies, many insist that today's challenge is actually about us versus them. It's between us who are awakening and those who are still asleep in the matrix. It's between the 99% and the 1%. It's between justice and injustice. It's between the North and the South. It's between the modern and the pre-modern. It's between the new story and the old story. Most of us that will speak during this conference have strong and justifiable reasons to frame today's chaotic changes as tensions between a world imprisoned by a techno-economic ideology of growth, of exploitative trade treaties and markets, and a planet yearning to be healed by human-scaled economies, regulated banks, and renewed connections between nature and culture. However, and I can attest to this, I've been doing a lot of traveling lately, around the world in puddles of conferences and unconferences, in symposiums and summits, in hotel rooms and school halls filled with activists whose faces bear telltale signs of despair and failure. We are pushing our linguistic powers to an extreme. We're coming up with ever new ways of modeling how change really happens, but we seem not to be seeing the change that we hope for. We're inventing new categories of thought. We're tasking our volition storehouses and seeking smarter ways to rouse people to their feet and to the urgencies of the hour. We're urging ourselves to be practical, to focus on the facts, the real stuff, ma'am. But as our language gets more and more sophisticated, the more distant it seems a more beautiful world gets. Our increasing sophistication betrays our deepest anxieties about a universe that will not be comprehended, a cosmos that will not be summed up in a single theory. Today, I celebrate the great and persistent work of amazing people here and voices across the planet, the utility of bold notions like localization, of which I'm a strong proponent, and their subversive presence in the world. I recognize the turbulence in our conversations about how to bring change, and the riddles that are thrown up every time we consider competing worldviews and what they have to say about our times, who we are, and what we have at our disposal. I honor our furious intentions to rid the world of exploitative ideologies. I honor our anger, our despair, and our furrowed eyebrows. I honor our victories as well, however short-lived they may be. I make no claim that all these have some kind of ontological meaning deeper than experience itself. I merely urge us to see the wilder connections, the deeper entanglements, and to perhaps learn to trust our deepest feelings, even though they defy conceptualization. In the words of Alice Fulton, we have to meet the universe halfway. Nothing will unfold for us unless we move towards that which looks to us like nothing. Faith is a cascade. Our deepest challenge today is to transcend not only the fear that we are alone and we have to figure this thing out ourselves and that we're not doing enough, but the fear that if we do not do, nothing matters. We must, and I use must with some hesitation, we must trust that things count even when they don't add up.